The church was quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that pressed against your chest. I stood by my mother's casket, fingers tracing the edge of the wood, trying to feel something, grief, peace, anything. But all I felt was confusion. Because as people came to pay their respects, I noticed a few of them whispering. Their eyes shifted from me, to someone behind me. When I turned, I froze. A woman, about my height, similar hair, even dressed in a dark green coat that looked eerily like mine, stood at the back of the church. She had her head slightly lowered, but her eyes were locked on me. And when our gazes met, she smiled. Not a warm smile. A knowing one. I tried to shake it off. Maybe she was just a distant friend of Mom's. But when I approached her after the service to thank her for coming, she was gone. Vanished. The next week, I started settling Mom's affairs. Closing her accounts, sorting through paperwork. That's when I noticed it. At the bank, the teller frowned. Ma'am, we already spoke to you last week about this account closure. I blinked. I've never been here before. She looked uneasy. You came in, signed the forms, and even showed ID. You said you were Elena Matthews. My heart dropped. That's my name. I felt cold. Can you describe her? The teller hesitated. Looks a lot like you. She paused, darker hair, maybe a little thinner. But yes, same face, same name. I walked out of that bank with my pulse racing, my mother's voice echoing in my head, some things, Elena, are better left buried. What had she meant by that? It took me 2 days to find her. I searched my name online. My address. My social security number. And there it was, a rental listing in a nearby town, under my name. I drove there, heart pounding, every street light blurring into streaks of white. When she opened the door, I nearly stumbled backward. She looked exactly like me. Same face. Same voice. But colder. Oh, she said softly. You found me faster than I thought. Who are you? I demanded. Her lips curved. You already know. And then, she closed the door in my face. That night, I tore through Mom's old boxes, desperate for answers. Photos, letters, old medical records, and then a small, sealed envelope. It had my name on it. But the handwriting wasn't hers. Inside was a photo. 2 baby girls, identical, lying side by side in the same hospital basement. On the back. Elena and Aaron Matthews. Born June 14th. Twins. I felt my knees go weak. My mother had never mentioned a twin. And yet. Here was proof. The next morning, I woke up to a text message from an unknown number. Now you know the truth, sister. But you still don't know why she chose you. Attached was a photo of our mother, holding only one baby. Me. And just like that, I realized, this wasn't just about stolen identity. This was about revenge. By Monday morning, things had already started to unravel. At work, my manager pulled me aside. Elena, I thought you were taking the week off? My breath caught. I never said that. He frowned. You called. You said you needed time to process your mother's death. You even thanked me for understanding. I shook my head. That wasn't me. He looked uncomfortable, but he dropped it. Still, the looks from my coworkers said it all. Someone was pretending to be me, not just at the bank, but everywhere. When I got home, my front door was unlocked. On my kitchen table sat a single photo, my twin, smiling, holding my employee ID badge. On the back was a note. How does it feel to lose yourself? I went to see Mom's old lawyer the next day. He seemed startled when I walked in. Elena, he said, standing. I didn't expect you back so soon after our last meeting. I froze. Our last meeting? Yes, you came in last Thursday to discuss your mother's will. You seemed different. My pulse quickened. What did she say? He hesitated, then opened a folder. Your mother left a sealed letter. She said it was for her daughter. But she never clarified which one. He slid the envelope across the desk. The handwriting was shaky, but definitely Mom's. To my girls, you'll both hate me before you forgive me. But I did what I had to do. One of you was meant to have the life I couldn't give the other. I stared at it until the words blurred. What did she mean by that? That night, I heard a knock. When I opened the door, she was standing there. Erin. My twin. This time, she didn't smile. She stepped inside, uninvited. You took everything, she said calmly. Her love. Her home. Her name. I backed away. Mom abandoned you? I didn't even know you existed. Her voice cracked. Of course you didn't. She erased me. Changed my birth records. Gave you the perfect life while I grew up in foster homes. My throat tightened. That's not my fault. Erin's eyes filled with tears that didn't fall. Maybe not. But it's your turn to lose something. Then she placed a USB drive on the table. Watch this. You'll understand why she chose you. And she walked out. I sat there for hours before I opened the file. It was a hospital video, grainy but clear enough to see Mom's face, young, scared, pacing the corridor. A nurse's voice off camera. You can only keep one, ma'am. The father signed the adoption papers. Mom covered her face, crying. Then take the sick one. She won't survive anyway. But she did. Erin survived. I pressed pause, shaking. The timeline didn't make sense. Mom had always told me my father left before I was born, but the video showed him signing papers. Was he still alive? The next morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. When I answered, a man's voice said, Elena? Or should I say, Erin? My blood ran cold. Who is this? I'm the man in that video, he said softly. And your mother wasn't who you think she was. She didn't give one of you away, she stole one of you. The line went dead. And for the first time I realized. Maybe I wasn't the real daughter after all. I couldn't sleep after that call. By sunrise, I was digging through every document I had from my mother's house, birth certificates, hospital records, even her old journals. That's when I found it, a hidden compartment beneath her jewelry box. Inside, a small flash drive. The folder was labeled, EM. Inside were adoption records, but not for Erin. For me. I stared at the screen as the words blurred. Adopted, Elena Matthews. Signed, Dr. Linda Warren. The same hospital, the same date of birth. I wasn't the biological daughter. I was the stolen one. I drove straight to Dr. Warren's clinic. She had retired, but her name was still on the building. When I showed her the document, her face went pale. She whispered, Your mother. She was desperate. The biological mother lost her baby during delivery. Your mom was inconsolable after years of infertility. The nurse made a mistake, 2 identical newborns, and she couldn't bring herself to tell the truth. One lived. One didn't. I shook my head. But Erin's alive. Dr. Warren looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. Then she wasn't supposed to be. That evening, I went to Erin's place again, but it was empty. No furniture. No photos. No trace of her. Except for one thing, a single sheet of paper taped to the wall. It was a copy of my birth certificate, crossed out in red ink. Under it, she had written. You took my life. I'm taking it back. And in the corner of the page, my house key. My stomach dropped. She had been inside my home. When I got home, everything was off. My favorite mug was in the wrong cabinet. My perfume bottle is half empty. The framed photo of Mom on the shelf was missing, replaced with a different one. In this photo, Erin stood next to Mom, smiling, as if she belonged there. Then I noticed the reflection in the glass, someone standing behind me. "Do you see it now?" Erin's voice whispered. She loved me too. Until she realized I was the mistake. I turned, trembling. "You can't just steal my life." She smiled faintly. "It was never yours." Later that night, a new email arrived from an unknown address. Subject line, "Before you hate me." It was from Mom. Recorded months before her death. "If you're watching this, it means Erin has found you. She's not your enemy, Elena. She's your mirror. I made an unforgivable choice the day you were born. One of you belonged to another woman, but I couldn't let you go. The adoption was never legal. I took what wasn't mine. Erin found out years ago. She wanted justice, and I couldn't stop her." Tears blurred my vision. At the end of the video, Mom's last words echoed. "If she's coming for you, don't fight her. Find the one person who knows what really happened, your father." And just like that, I knew my next move. It took me 2 days to find him, the man who called himself my father. He lived 2 states away, in a small, neglected farmhouse surrounded by tall weeds. When he opened the door, he froze. "Elena?" I swallowed hard. "You called me. You said you were in the video." He sighed. "I shouldn't have." I stepped closer. "I deserve to know who I am." He looked at me for a long time. "You're not her daughter. You're mine." My knees nearly buckled. "Yours?" He nodded. "Your mother, Margaret, stole you. After our child died, she switched the babies in the hospital. Erin was the real daughter of the woman you thought was your mother." My head spun. "So Erin. She's the one who was meant to be raised by Margaret. You were supposed to be with me." Back at my apartment, I couldn't stop replaying his words. If Mom had stolen me, then everything I believed about my childhood was built on a lie. I opened her old diaries again, desperate for context. In one of the later entries, she wrote, "Erin's mother will never forgive me. But I couldn't watch another woman raise what was left of me. I took the baby and ran. If anyone finds out, it'll destroy both girls." I slammed the book shut, heart pounding. Erin wasn't crazy. She was the one robbed of her life. And now, she was reclaiming it. That evening, I returned home, but my key no longer worked. I peered through the window and saw her. Erin. Cooking in my kitchen. Wearing my clothes. Laughing on a video call with my coworkers. She'd taken everything. I knocked hard on the door, shouting, "This is my house." She turned, eyes calm and cold. "No, Elena. It's mine now. The world believes I'm you. And you? You're nobody." Then she closed the curtains. That was the moment something inside me snapped. If she wanted a war, I'd give her one. For the next few days, I played along. I let her believe she'd won, that I was too broken to fight. But quietly, I gathered everything. Emails, texts, records of her impersonation, the adoption files, the hospital video. Then I sent her a message from an anonymous number. Mom left a second letter. "Meet me at the house tonight, alone." At 9 p.m., she showed up, cautious but curious. I watched from the shadows as she stepped inside. The lights flicked on. And there, projected on the living room wall, was the hospital footage, and our mother's final confession. Her face went white. I stepped out. "Game over." She backed away slowly. "You think this makes you the victim?" "She stole me, Elena." "I know," I said softly. "But that doesn't justify destroying me." "I didn't take your life, she did." Tears streamed down her face. "I just wanted her to choose me. For once." For a moment, the hatred between us cracked, revealing something raw and human. Then the sirens grew louder outside. Police lights flashed through the windows. She turned toward me, realization dawning. You called them. I nodded. You impersonated me, stole accounts, broke into my home. But I made sure they saw the truth too. You were the one who deserved to be found, not forgotten. As they led her away, she looked back one last time. You really are her daughter. I whispered, no. I'm finally my own person. After Erin's arrest, the silence in my mother's house felt different. Heavier. I went through her drawer one last time and found a torn envelope tucked behind an old photo album. The letter was unsent, addressed to Erin. If you ever find her, don't hate her. Hate me. I broke you both trying to fix myself. I wanted a second chance at motherhood, and I took it. You were always my light, even when I couldn't look at you without seeing my sin. My throat tightened. Mom hadn't just stolen a baby, she'd carried the guilt her entire life. Maybe Erin's revenge wasn't born from hate, but from pain. 2 weeks later, I stood in court. Erin looked smaller somehow, sitting at the defendant's table, pale, quiet, hands folded. The prosecutor listed her crimes: identity theft, fraud, breaking and entering. But when the judge asked if I wanted to press for the maximum sentence, I stood up slowly. No, I said. I just want the truth on record. That she wasn't a stranger pretending to be me. She was the other half of my life, the part one never knew existed. Erin glanced at me, for the first time, without malice. Just exhaustion. The judge sentenced her to community service and mandated therapy. Justice, not destruction. I visited Mom's grave the next day. The air was still, the flowers wilted, but I finally felt ready to speak. You made choices I'll never understand, I whispered. But I think I finally understand why you did it. You wanted to save something good, even if it meant living a lie. I placed 2 roses on the grave, one for me, one for Erin. For both your daughters, I said softly. And for the first time I felt peace. A month later, I went to the courthouse and filled out the paperwork. Name change request, Elena Erin Matthews. I wanted both names. Both stories. Because no matter what the birth certificate said, we shared one truth: we both came from the same broken love. When the clerk asked why I was changing it, I smiled. Because I'm done living as someone else's secret. That night, as I packed to move to a new city, a message pinged on my phone. No sender name. Just a single line. Thank you for giving me back my name. It was signed, E.M. I stared at the screen, tears welling. Whether it was Erin or just her way of saying goodbye, I didn't care. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't running from my identity, I was embracing it. As I turned off the light, I whispered. Mom, you were right. Some things are better left buried, but not who we are.